Burkina Faso is an African country that is filled with 70% dense forests. And the most precious thing in these forests is sandalwood, the same sandalwood that is famous all over the world for its fragrance and uniqueness. But while other countries are still thinking about how to use their forests, the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, has made such a plan to benefit from this precious treasure that has surprised global experts. Yes, when Traoré reviewed the country's natural resources, he realized that millions of trees in Burkina Faso's forests had already completed their lifespan. For this purpose, he gathered all the forestry experts of the country and launched a smart forestry plan. Under this plan, in the first phase, all sandalwood trees that had passed their prime were identified. Then, the process of carefully cutting down these trees began. But the most important thing here is that for every tree cut down, a new plant is immediately planted. Not just any plant, but sandalwood grown from special seeds. With special fertilizers and sprays, these saplings grow into mature trees within a few months. That means where earlier it took a whole year for a sandalwood tree to mature, now the same process is completed in just 3 to 4 months. Imagine, earlier sandalwood wood could be harvested only once a year, but now millions of new trees can be ready every 3 to 4 months. This is why Burkina Faso can soon become the world's largest supplier of sandalwood. The price of sandalwood is worth billions of dollars. If Burkina Faso continues this process, the country's economy will become several times stronger in just a few years. But the most important thing is that the forests are not being destroyed in the process. Rather, new plants are being planted for every tree cut down. In this way, greenery remains intact and income also increases. While big countries are still thinking about how to benefit from their forests, Burkina Faso has already shown it in action. And behind this is Ibrahim Traoré, whose far-sighted thinking has turned this small African country into an example for the whole world. Today, Burkina Faso is teaching the world a lesson through its forests, that natural resources can be used smartly to make a country self-reliant. And that is why in the future, whenever sandalwood is mentioned, Burkina Faso's name will come first. When this smart forestry plan started on Burkina Faso's land, results began to appear in the very first year. Village by village, people became part of this campaign, and everyone was taught that a sandalwood tree is not just wood, but the wealth of the nation. The purpose was not just to cut trees, but to create a new ecosystem. Forestry experts surveyed every area and decided how many trees to cut and how many new plants to grow. Thus, a complete plan was made. Small nurseries were set up in every village so that new sandalwood saplings could be provided from there. In these nurseries, plants grown from special seeds were kept safe and then planted in fields, forests, and barren lands. This process not only kept the forests green, but also created employment for thousands of people. Village youth, women, and elders, everyone participated. Some planted saplings, some watered them, some added fertilizers, and some monitored the trees. Thus, this plan turned into a nationwide movement. Where earlier people were unemployed, now they started getting employment from the forests. Every 3 to 4 months, when new sandalwood trees were ready, they were carefully cut and sent to the markets. A large part of the profit from the sale of this wood went directly into the government treasury. And then with this money, schools, hospitals, roads, and water facilities were built. That means the money from the forests started being used directly for the country's progress. Traoré also took another unique step. He decided that sandalwood would not be exported as just raw material. Instead, factories would be set up in the country where sandalwood would be used to produce perfumes, medicines, soaps, and decorative items. This not only increased exports, but also created thousands of new industrial jobs. That means Burkina Faso chose the path of making its country self-reliant through natural resources. While other African countries were recklessly cutting their forests and destroying them, Burkina Faso was protecting its forests and earning wealth and jobs from them. Today, global experts are calling this movement of Burkina Faso a green revolution. They say that if other countries adopt the same method, the world's forests will also be saved and humanity will progress too. Traoré says that forests are not just wood, but the breath of future generations. If forests remain, humans will remain. If forests end, life will also be in danger. That's why he taught every child in his country that planting trees is not just a task, but a form of worship. Today, Burkina Faso's new generation knows that before cutting a tree, it is necessary to plant a new one. And that is why the new generation has become the biggest strength of this revolution. This model of Burkina Faso has now become an example for the whole world. Ministers and experts from many African countries have visited there to learn how this small country achieved such great success in such a short time. Traore told them that the real secret lies only in far-sighted thinking and proper planning. If humans use natural resources wisely, the same forests that were once considered useless can turn into wealth. Today, millions of new saplings have been planted in Burkina Faso, and new trees are being prepared every month. This has had a direct impact on the country's income. Where earlier the country's GDP was weak, now it is growing rapidly. Prosperity has returned to villages. People who were earlier troubled by poverty and unemployment are now getting jobs through the forests. Women also became part of this work and started small businesses. Some began producing sandalwood oil, some started perfume businesses, and some started handicrafts. The government also promoted this work by giving small loans so that people could grow their businesses. This strengthened the country's industry and also increased exports. Today, in Europe, Asia, and Arab countries, Burkina Faso's sandalwood is in the highest demand. Where earlier people used to buy sandalwood from India and Australia, now Burkina Faso has become their new destination. From the country's ports, thousands of tons of sandalwood and sandalwood products are being exported every month. This not only brings foreign currency, but also makes the country's identity recognized all over the world. The biggest thing is that Burkina Faso did not destroy its forests, but made them even greener. Today, the air is fragrant, the environment is clean, and people are healthy. Children are going to schools, farmers are prosperous, and the country is on the path of progress. And all this has become possible through smart thinking, far-sighted policies of a true leader, and the hard work of the people. Today, whenever there is talk of forests and natural resources in the world, Burkina Faso's name comes first. And this is certainly the result of Ibrahim Traoré's leadership. His vision will become a guiding light in the future, not just for Africa, but for the entire world. When the Smart Forestry Plan began in Burkina Faso, the very first year showed unbelievable results. In villages, people who once had no jobs suddenly found new opportunities in the forests. Young men started planting and watering trees. Women prepared nurseries and cared for saplings, while elders guided the community with experience. Every 3 to 4 months, new sandalwood trees were ready for harvest. Carefully, the wood was taken to markets, and the profit went directly into the national treasury. With this money, schools were built, hospitals opened, roads constructed, and clean water facilities provided. For the first time, villagers saw that their forests were not just trees, but the future of their country.